Hello, everyone, and I'm so excited for you to meet. Although not all of you are meeting, Jamshed, we have a couple of blasts from the past apparently on the call, coming on the call in a bit for you. For now, and while we're getting started, I want to introduce my neighbor and friend Jamshed Mulla, who the story I'm going to tell you is so fun. I'll wait till Alexa comes on. But the way that this all came together, hi, Alexa. Hi, so Jamshed's my neighbor, and he's helped out with some KindWorks things in the past, and I've gotten to know his nonprofit. He's been on the board of Suited For Change for the last, I think, 12 years. They do such great work. I'm going to put them in the chat when I am done introducing you to him. But are you seeing some familiar faces and names, Jamshed?
Oh, hey, Bob, Julie, hi.
We have a This Is Your Life for you that we didn't even know we were going to be having.
Hey. I see Andrew Damien as well.
Hey, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew Damien, man.
Welcome, This Is Your Life, Jamshed Mulla.
Yeah.
So in the neighborhood, people were asking for which are great Indian restaurants near us. And everybody's suggesting their favorite restaurants. And Jamshed said, or you could come to the Suited For Change Gala at the end of May and bid on something that I've been putting into their silent auction for the last 6 years, I think, because he creates a delicious dinner for six, is it, Jamshed?
Yep.
Dinner for six. And he makes it and he delivers it, and then you get to enjoy it with 5 other people at your home. So I quickly bought a couple tickets for myself. I went last year and had a really good time, but I'm going to go again this year. So I'm also going to put a link for that in the chat. But for now, Jamshed's going to be teaching us about Parsi food and how to make some Parsi food that we'll all get to have for ourselves tonight and to share with others, all the leftovers. So Jamshed, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and leading us today. And I will hand this off to you.
Thanks. Where do I start? I actually got a jump on the cooking. I was so nervous. I didn't want to be late. So I've already done a few of the first steps. But what would you like to know first? Is there anything
honestly, if you wouldn't mind just, I mean, other people probably know a whole lot more than I do, but I didn't even know there was a thing called Parsi food, or what, is that an area of India? Or tell me whatever I need to know how to put that in a context.
So the Parsis are the minuscule minority in India, and they are the original inhabitants of the Persian Empire, followers of a religion called Zoroastrianism that is 3,000 or 4,000 years old. I'm not exactly sure how. But anyway, after the conquest of the Persian Empire, the Zoroastrians escaped and came to India. Some of them came to India. And the ones who came first in the 6th or 7th century are known as Parsis, because in India, Parsi means from Persia. There was actually a second migration about 100 years ago, when the people who were remaining in Iran found out that the guys who left early were doing quite well in India. They said, "Oh, let's go to India." So the second wave came in like the 19th, 20th century, and they are known as Iranis, even though they are also Zoroastrians. So the Parsis are kind of the initial wave, the Iranis. My parents are from the two groups. My mother is a Irani, my father was a Parsi, and they kind of don't exactly think highly of each other.
Because your parents or those two groups?
The parents. Well, because they go, well, we're the original ones. Oh, no, we came. Oh, you guys came to India early and kind of messed everything up. But anyway, that's the history. Now, Parsi cooking is kind of a mixture of the Persian
What's the story?
foods, and then they were all Indianized when they came to India. So they introduced new spices. Parsi food is a little spicier. Persian food is very bland. So that's kind of where the cooking came from. But it's unique in India. It's not like any of the other, Punjabi food or South Indian food or stuff that you normally get in restaurants. I don't think there are a lot of Parsi restaurants, at least not in the US.
If you were to sum up how it's different from other Indian food, is there a way to kind of describe it or not? Not really.
It's hard. I mean, the dishes are quite unique. They're, they've got that Persian influence. For example, they do mix sometimes dried fruit in with their cooking, which is never done in Indian food.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have rice with raisins in it and things like that.
Mm.
But it's a very subtle difference. But to a person who is familiar with the food, it's definitely different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Let's do it, right?
Right. So the dish we're making today, the khichri, this recipe is kind of meant to be eaten as like a, rice and dal dish combined.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, what Parsis will also do is they'll make khichri with a lot less of the red lentils, more rice, less red lentils, and that is almost like a rice, and then they'll cook some other sauce to put over it.
Ah.
So this is slightly different khichri than if you talk to a Parsi and say, hey, I'm cooking khichri, they would be making the rice, mostly rice with a small amount of the lentil,
Okay.
turmeric. That's what they would call khichri. All right. So I've already boiled the rice and lentil mix with the potatoes and tomatoes and the chilies. I started a couple hours ago. So my half of that recipe is already done. I don't know where people are. Are people starting out from scratch?
Yes, I have a question, if I may. I have a lot of questions. I'm sorry. Usually we don't ask a lot of questions, but tonight I have like a lot of questions.
Yes.
My first question is about the chili. So I'm using jalapenos because it was all I could find in the green chili category. When you say slit, is this what you mean? Like this?
Slit lengthways.
Pardon me?
He said split lengthwise. Hold on, let me pin.
Yeah, this is a length. This is a length. But do you mean like in small like sticks, or do you mean like this? Like I have a bunch of these, like this.
Just in half.
Oh, just in half. Okay.
Yeah, just take the chili and cut it in half.
Okay.
So it opens up like a like a pan. But
I took all the seeds out.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's all going to get mixed in. But the point is, you don't have to take a lot of time chopping it up.
Okay.
But if you did, that's not going to matter.
Okay.
I have questions about the chili. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm farther along than you are. I'm almost done.
Okay.
And I had to dice my chilies. I only used 4 jalapenos, and I couldn't breathe. I had to open the door. Okay, just to give you. Okay, I have a spice aversion to certain things, and that's one of them. Yeah. So I put in 4. I didn't put in any more. My son tasted it and said, "This is kind of bland," and I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I can't breathe," and he's saying it's kind of bland. Anyway, but my question is, when you finish this, because I'm really at the point where I'm ready to put my onions in, is this supposed to look like a soup? Because it's not, like, there's no liquid in it.
No, it's not supposed to look like a soup. It's supposed to look, what would you call it? It's just it's kind of like a rice, like it'll be a little gloppy because of the dal, but it's not going to be watery. It shouldn't be watery.
That's fine, and I'm okay. I thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Jamshed, does this look about right? Can you see inside my pot here?
Yeah.
That looks right?
Yeah, that looks right.
Okay, great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
The potatoes, did anybody peel the potatoes or are they meant to just be cleaned and cut with the skin on?
My mother would say, don't peel anything.
Okay,
Uh,
that's what you would do if you were okay.
All the nutrition is in the peel, but
Yeah.
I peel mine, and most people do peel the potatoes, but it's a
You do
choice.
peel yours. And do you use pretty big potatoes? Does everyone use like
Uh,
regular sized potatoes?
about this big. I use red potatoes because that's all we
Oh,
have.
you use red? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've got
Not-
pretty big potatoes.
Oh, okay. You've got like baking potatoes. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can cut those more than a quarter. You can cut
Yeah,
those.
okay, cut them up and just use less of them. Like instead of using 6, maybe I use 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
I have a question about the mustard seeds. Do we
Yeah.
crackle those ahead of time or they become crackled?
No, you crackle them ahead. That's the whole idea of vagar. So the vagar is the vagar is a spice mixture, which is the mustard seeds and the onions and all that, which you make separately, and then you mix it in with the rice and the lentils. So you always heat the oil or the ghee to a point when if you drop a mustard seed in there, it'll crackle. It makes a bit of a mess, but that's the ideal way to make the vagar.
Say that again. How do you pronounce what you just said?
The vagar. You see, the title of the recipe is Vaghareli Khichri.
And the Vaghareli is that second pot of spices that you're cooking.
So Vaghareli means made with a vagar. And the vagar is always, and the vagar is common to many dishes. It's basically the onions, spices mixture that you make separately because it's fried.
Yeah.
And then you put it in with something that's boiled.
Okay.
So in our case, it's the rice and lentils.
So do we put the ghee and then the mustard seeds and crackle those and then add the onions and stuff?
Right. That's what the instruction said. I think it said to put the mustard seed and the cumin seed.
Yeah.
And crackle those. And then you put the rest of the stuff in it.
Terrific. And how long until the leaves, and you don't chop the leaves, you just take the leaves off the stem?
No. The leaves, I mean, we eat the leaves, in the dish.
Yeah.
We don't take them out later on.
Yeah.
But that's up to you. Some people, not just in this dish, but other dishes, they don't like to have the spices in with the final food. Like, for example, there's a lot of dishes where you put a cinnamon stick and cardamom, or a whole cardamom and cloves. What they'll do is they'll put them all in a muslin bag. They'll put it in with the stuff, and then at the end, they'll take it out. Because you don't want to bite down on a cardamom seed in the middle of your meal.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I don't do that. I mean, I just leave them there, and when I see them, I pick it out in the dish.
Yeah.
Now, the other important thing, the reason for this vagar is you have to fry any spice. Like in our case, it's going to be the garlic and the turmeric. You never put raw spices into anything.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't just add a spoon of turmeric to the rice. That would be, it wouldn't taste right. The spices, the powdered spices, they must be fried with the onions. So that's one of the
words now.
That's basic for any recipe.
And do the leaves need to get very, very soft in order to eat them, or it doesn't matter?
No.
Okay.
No. It's just like putting a garnish. I mean, it would be like putting parsley in there.
Great. Okay, good.
So, so what should we do now? Is some people trying to catch up?
I have another question.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't have leaves,
Yeah.
I looked up what substitutions there would be. And it said some different spices, or you could also use lime. Or what would you use? What do you recommend?
I'm a purist for curry leaves, so I don't believe in substitutes for curry leaves. But as I said in my email, if you haven't eaten Indian food with a certain ingredient, you wouldn't know. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, lemon zest or lime zest would be fine.
Okay.
But if you, I don't know how many of you have curry leaves. How many of you have the curry leaves? Okay. I mean, if you smell the curry leaves, they're very, very distinctive. They're got a very strong smell, taste. So, yeah, there are substitutes like somebody said lemon rind or lemon zest.
Lime, I think.
But I'd go out of my way to find those.
Yeah, I tried to find them. The Indian grocery store near us was closed today.
Yeah.
So I was not successful. I went to 2 stores, Whole Foods and
yeah, and sometimes they don't even have them. They don't even have them in stock. It's not a commonly used.
One of the things I read about the substitution with the lime zest, and it said to use paprika with the lime zest.
Uh-huh.
But when I read about the curry leaves, it said that it has kind of a smoky taste. So I used smoked paprika instead of the regular, just to kind of maybe come closer. I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
But what do I know? I only used 4 jalapenos.
Well, one thing about chilies, I learned a lesson once. I worked in China on a project, and they eat chilies by the dozen, and they'd make like chicken with peppers, and they'd use longhorn peppers, and it was spicy. So when they came over here, they tried to cook with jalapenos, and they used the same amount of jalapenos. And one of the guys, he was in a fetal position for a day because even though their chilies are maybe hotter than jalapenos, it's a different chemical, and his body couldn't tolerate the jalapeno chemical, and the poor guy was, he didn't show up for work, and we had to go find out where he was. So different people react to chilies differently, depending on the kind.
I don't have to even taste them. It's breathing. Just breathe. I was slicing them. And
Yeah.
It was terrible. I opened the door. My husband said, "Why is the door open?" I said, "Because I can't breathe." It's like, oh. Deb, you saw my little friend that I had up there? Did you see the little friend I had sitting on my lap?
No, just now. No.
A couple of minutes ago. The dog was up.
You got a dog.
I've had him for three days. This is day 4, I think. Yeah.
Oh, congrats. Let's see him.
He wandered off somewhere. He's probably up on my bed where he doesn't belong, or sitting in my chair where he doesn't belong.
Well, congrats. That's exciting. Welcome back, Neha. Good to see you. All right. Well, I am loving what's going on here. This has so many different ingredients and flavors than anything else we've ever cooked so far. So that's why you're getting all the questions, Jamshed. It's really exciting.
Has anybody finished making their dish completely?
I'm very close. I need to put the onions. I haven't put them into the rice. It seems to me like there's so much rice rather in the pot, and there's not a lot of onion. I mean, but the onion really cooked down. So I figure I'll just let it cook some more. It's not going to hurt it to get softer, right?
Right.
How long can we see what yours looks like?
My onions?
No, Jamshed. I want to see what his stuff looks like.
My rice looks like, hold on. So this is a rice.
And you stir it around?
Yeah. It's kind of a gloppy.
It really is gloppy. Okay.
Yeah.
Did the potatoes all break down? Is that why it's floppy?
No, the potatoes are still whole. I haven't tested them, but I think they're probably done.
Okay.
So I'm ready to start with the. There's
Oh,
my.
you haven't made your onions yet. Okay. I think
I
you can
haven't.
go ahead. We're ready to watch you. People will just kind of like catch up and see what you're doing. No worries.
I added 3 cups more of water than was called for because I thought that the rice was just too dry. And even with the additional 3 cups, I mean,
Yeah.
as you say, the potatoes soaking it up, the dal soaking it up, the rice, everything. So
Yeah.
just as a warning, I added 3 extra cups.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm waiting for this to heat up, and then I'm gonna put in the mustard seed. Give it a little test. It's not hot. It's not hot enough yet to crackle. Let me test my potatoes.
All right, well, while you are waiting for your pan to crackle, your oil to crackle, tell us about what you and Andrew and Bob how you all know each other.
Oh man, I gotta think.
Andrew,
So-
we don't know you yet. You want to tell us the story?
Yeah, of course. So in the world of reincarnation, where we go through birth, life, death, rebirth, Jamshed and I and Bob shared one of those lives. And that common experience was very different than what we're doing here with all the wonderful spices, curry leaves, mustard seeds, and everything else. It was very, very different. And it was in the world of high technology. So, and since
How long ago?
I would say this is, say 25 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So Andrew, when did I started with ITT in 1979, 78. When did you join?
I was not at ITT.
Oh, see, I got the generations mixed up. You
There you
were
go.
you were at
HNS.
Oh, you were at Hughes. Yeah. You see, my problem is I've worked for companies that collaborated with each other, but multiple times. So I used to work for ITT when I got out of college. Then I left there, and then I went to work for Hughes after 2 or 3 other jobs. That's where I met you.
And Jamshed,
But-
you were my boss there. So
But then
in the
we
90s.
collaborated with ITT again. So I actually have friends from my first incarnation with ITT, and I have friends with the second one.
And
I get
remember,
to-
ITT sold the business to Alcatel.
Right. But that's when you joined, they had already sold, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. See, I worked for the original ITT before Alcatel, and I think Bob, you worked for the German company, the German ITT company, right? You're muted.
Yeah. Alcatel SEL, the Schwäbische Elektroladler.
Yeah. So, and just a point of interest for you guys, Ann and I are going to Europe in the fall. We're going to go to Germany, and I've started organizing a reunion of all the people I worked with in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay, I'm crackling here.
Okay.
Somewhere else?
Yeah.
It's not really cold now.
Andrew, are you a big Indian food fan or
I'm a
food
huge
fan?
Indian food. So in my previous lives,
Yeah.
is I think I spent my that life in India, and most likely in a southern part. So I'm a big fan of South Indian cooking, and all the elements that Jamshed is describing are very much present in bringing out the wonderful tastes, the South Indian tastes. So things like curry leaf, I have them here in the freezer, as a matter of fact. So I'm well equipped, but I just had a surgery last week, so I'm immobile in terms of participating in a useful way in this gathering.
Do you cook South Indian food?
Of course. Sambar, idli, uttapams, avial,
wow.
everything, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't experimented too much with like masala dosas and idlis.
Oh yeah, I've got everything to get this going.
Oh, how you recovering well with it from your surgery? You're going to be up and around
Yeah,
soon?
this was a hip replacement. So,
Had one of those.
oh man.
Yeah. I had one about 6 years ago or so.
All right.
I forget which one it was, but
That's a good sign.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you keep your curry leaves in the freezer. I was going to ask Jamshed what to do with the extras, not to rub it in, Callie. Sorry about that. But I used about a half a bag for this recipe. Should I be using more, Jamshed?
No.
Half a bag?
They sell you a lot of curry leaves at the store.
Yeah.
Because like if you cook Indian food every day, you'd be using them up. But for us, I go and buy the bag, and then I use it once or twice, and then I try to freeze it too. But you can't use all that. It's a lot of curry leaves in there.
Just freeze it as it is, or do you chop it up and freeze it, or?
No, as it is.
As it is. Okay, thanks.
Just put it in the bag, like
Yeah.
Ziploc bag.
What about these little green? What about the little green chilies? What's the best way to keep those alive for a long time?
They don't freeze well, in my opinion. So just use them.
No, there's a big bag. They sell you a huge bag of these things.
So in my opinion, the best way to for the chilies is to de-stem them.
Yeah.
And then wrap them in a paper towel and then put it in an airtight container that stays more longer than if you would just leave them as it is in a bag.
Okay, de-stem them and wrap them in a paper towel and put them in a plastic bag.
Yes.
Okay.
What I will do also, make a green chili chutney, and you can freeze that nicely.
Tell me what you're going to put into the green chili. I'm writing this down.
Oh, green chilies, coriander. You would use that a little bit of, add a little bit of kick with the mustard seed concoction, mix that up, and garlic, coriander, the ginger a little bit. So.
And then mango or some kind of fruit or no?
Coriander leaves. That's the. Yeah.
Coriander leaves. All right, so I've got green chilies, coriander leaves, the whole mustard seed mix, and ginger.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that gives you kind of a little South Indian twist to that.
Okay, fantastic.
Or Parsi twist, if you like. So
I do like. I didn't know I was going to like it, but now I do. So, Jamshed, it says to put those 9 red chilies in with everything else. Now you were doing that whole. We're not taking seeds out or crash. What do you call it? Are we doing this to them?
The Kashmiri chilies are generally not very spicy. They're really used in Indian cooking more for red color.
Oh.
Like for example, I have this is a jar of very spicy red chili powder,
Okay.
but this is Kashmiri. This is Kashmiri red chili powder.
Wow. It's a
And
beautiful color.
it's really more for like a curry. You want a red color in the curry, you put this in there. It's much milder, but it gives a big, very nice red color to it.
Okay. So I should have bought the powder, maybe not the dried chilies.
No, the dried chili is for this recipe. They wanted you to use the chili.
Okay, and just throw the whole thing in or take the stem?
Yeah. No, just throw the whole thing in.
Okay.
Okay. I am ready. To put in my turmeric. And garlic. Okay. So I've added my garlic and the mustard seeds and the cumin seeds and the turmeric. And I'm going to put in the curry leaves.
With regard to the garlic,
Yeah.
you said garlic heads. Did you mean basically a bulb of garlic, or did you mean like if you're using individual garlic bulbs, how many should you use?
Yeah, what they meant is a pod, a garlic pod.
Yeah, okay. So a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, yeah. But you need a lot because you got to give this, the rice and dal are very bland. So you need something to give it taste. The garlic and the onions going in next.
Did anyone else use garlic? Like already killed garlic?
Sorry?
Okay.
I'm just saying I used a lot, like probably 2 heads worth of cloves. Yeah.
Yeah, so did I.
Whoever was on last week and we had them on an email with Jamshed got the email, but not everybody was, to don't be stingy with the salt because the potatoes and the rice and the lentils all absorb, the salt. So to use salt throughout, I guess, at the beginning before you start boiling your big pot of things together. And I just tasted mine and I had salted it, and I think it totally could use more salt.
Yeah.
And now it's really good. I don't know what it's supposed to taste like, but it's really good.
That's what it's supposed to taste like.
Exactly. Jamshed, I'm so tempted to put a little bit of lime peel and lime juice in it also. I don't know why, because it doesn't call for it, but should I?
Yeah.
Okay. Salt and lime is all I'm going to add in. I think it's so good, and my potatoes are cooked, and this crazy mix is delicious.
By the way, if you don't want to chop your garlic or ginger, you can buy at the Indian store ginger garlic paste.
Wow.
You can buy ginger and garlic separate or the combined. This is used in a lot of dishes, so good to have.
Jamshed, is this one of the things you'll be cooking for the dress Suited for Change meal that you put on the auction, or no?
No. I'll be cooking a rice dish. I mean, first of all, it'll depend on what they want.
Yeah.
But last time we made a starter, which was fried plantains with eggs and, you know, coriander and green onions. And Parsis love to eat eggs. So they put eggs on almost everything, potatoes, tomatoes, any vegetable. So plantains is one of my favorite. And then we made chicken with potato strings and chapatis.
What's
you
that?
know, a flatbread.
Uh-huh. You make it?
No, I buy them at the Indian store. You can buy them raw.
Yeah.
And then you just cook them.
Oh, great.
They're very, they come out really good. They come out fresh because much better than the, you know, pre-cooked stuff that's frozen.
Yeah.
And then we made lamb biryani, which is a rice.
Oh, yum. Yeah.
And then for the dessert, we made a Parsi wedding custard, which is kind of like a flan, but it has a few other ingredients in it.
Wow.
So
sounds like a feast.
Yeah.
Will you tell everyone about Suited for Change? I'm not, you know, if you're busy making your, how do you pronounce it?
Vaghareli.
Vaghareli, yeah. If you're busy making the Vaghareli, I don't want to get in the way. But before we get, you know, when you next have a few minutes, will you talk to us about Suited for Change?
Sure.
Okay.
I can talk now. So Suited's been around for 31 years. This is our 31st anniversary. And we provide, you know, needy women with outfits for job interviews. So we get a lot of clothing donations. We have about 100 volunteers, a lot of them from the retail side of the business, and they will have a 1-hour session with each client, dress them up with a couple of outfits so they can go for their job interviews. When they get a job, they come back, they get 3 more outfits, and that sets them, you know, off for a week, and then eventually they can afford to buy their own clothes. We also do a lot of mentoring and training and getting the women, you know, ready for their job interviews. So we have a couple of people with HR backgrounds who mentor them on interview skills. So before the pandemic, we were serving about over 1,000 women a year, like 1,200 a year.
Wow.
It slowed down during the pandemic. It's picked up again now, but not quite up to the level pre-pandemic.
Is it a DC only DC area?
Pardon? Only
It's a
DC. We have only one location here. And the women come to us from, there's like, I don't know, 100 or so agencies that deal with people coming from different situations, from homelessness or you know, incarceration, you know, domestic abuse, homelessness. So they prep the women initially, getting them, you know, set up for going for a job interview, writing a resume and all that. And then they send them to us and we provide them the sort of final training and encouragement and the outfits. And they go out for the interview. If you look on the website, it's just suitedforchange.org. You'll see, testimonials, and it's pretty impressive. I've been on the board for 12 years, and a lot of people ask me, why did you get involved with Suited? It's such a strange thing because, I don't do the suiting, obviously, but it's just something that interested me, and very worthwhile.
So, and it's called Suited for Change, but you're looking for any kind of work dresses, it doesn't have to be a suit, right? Or
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Now, actually, styles are changing so much that women don't, women no longer wear the typical suit.
Mhm.
And also, depending on the job that they're going for, there's certain outfits that would be appropriate. So we, the volunteers know, they talk to them about what they're going to interview for and what their prospects are in terms of a job, and then they give them suitable clothing. We get a lot of donations.
Yes, go ahead.
We get a lot of donations, and some of them are not appropriate for a job interview, so we donate those back to Goodwill or some other organization. And at the other end of the spectrum, we get a lot of clothing which is not appropriate for somebody to wear to an interview because it's too high end. So we have monthly sales at the boutique for some of the high end clothing to raise funds for the organization.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So you'll take all kind of a range of women's clothes. Are you looking for small sizes, large sizes, or just anything?
Yeah, but it's the ones that we are most short of most of the time are the larger size.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we do take all sizes.
Okay. And so the ones that are high end, you sell. So that's a way to generate some income for Suited for Change. And then the ones that you that don't work for the kinds of jobs that you typically outfit women for, you give to other organizations. Is that what you said? Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Well, if anybody wants to join me at the gala, it's the last Wednesday of the month. I think the 30th. Is that right?
31st.
31st. So let me know. We can drive down together. It'll be fun. It's at the Wharf. It's at were they hosting it this year?
At the District Winery.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah.
And Deb, where do you live?
Right near Jamshed, actually.
No,
So-
I live in Potomac, in River Falls. Where do you live, Andrew?
I live in Bethesda, just off Massachusetts Avenue.
Oh, really? So close.
Very close.
Yeah, hey, is there anybody else who lives in this area? I know Bob lives down the street.
Oh yeah, I think almost everybody on the call lives in
Lives in this area?
Montgomery County for sure.
Okay.
I think. Neha, where are you?
I'm in Fairfax, Virginia.
Ah, okay. That's the Montgomery County, just across the water.
Right.
Can we see yours,
Mike,
Jamshed?
Sorry?
Can we see it? Is it looking like
Oh.
something yet?
Yeah. I'll move my laptop. So can you see that?
Yes, good. Mine doesn't look too weird, although yours has better color than mine. Mine has like green and brown and now this dark red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it, right? Because, like I said, the Vagar is always the oily part because it's fried in ghee or oil.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is always it's boiled or it's water based.
Yeah.
So then when you combine the two, it kind of gives them a chance to mix. I think I'm going to mix mine in a different pot because it's just going to be, I've got a very tall pot.
Yeah.
and it's not going to be easy to mix. See, this is my rice. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
This pot is almost full,
yeah.
so I'm going to put it in something else when I mix it.
Almost like a big flat casserole dish would be better, right?
Yeah,
Something- yeah, platter, big platter.
yeah, yeah. We had something for Mother's Day, and I ended
Perfect.
up with this.
Yeah, perfect.
Can we talk about packaging, Deb?
Yep,
So is this going to freeze? I mean, we have to freeze this. So,
we are. Jamshed, we're gonna freeze this and deliver it to the food assistance providers frozen. I mean, they can just microwave this and it'll be good.
Yeah,
okay. Okay. And I guess that the idea of a quart isn't really, it doesn't have to be a quart. We can use, I have some that are slightly smaller because it's not a soup.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that, you know, the families that are used to getting soup will get kind of something that's more stewish and you know, a little starchier. It'll be good. It's filled with lentils. It'll still have lots of good, you know, nutritional value for them, and they'll get something a little different. It'll be
Okay.
fun. Yeah.
And they'll get the 2 soups I cooked on Saturday.
Perfect. I want to hear about that new green soup that you're
That's
making.
the soup. That's the soup. It's, you should try it with us. It's a little sweet because you've got the peas and you've got, you know, I used Vidalia onion, so it really notched it up. I really liked it.
All right,
It's
good.
a
I
great
can't
color.
this Sunday. I'm going to be at a niece's graduation. But I do want to try it. I will try it.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll cook it here.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see. The dog is crying at you. He refuses to come up on my lap again, so he won't, you can't see him.
All right, well, move like Jamshed is showing us the lentil and rice. You move your computer and let's see if you. let's
Nah,
see your
it's
dog.
too hard to do it, I think.
All right, what did you name him?
He came with the name Lucas, so he's
Oh,
going to
that's
stay
very
here.
lovely.
It is lovely. He's
Okay.
quite the happy chappy.
Oh,
And he
good,
talks to us all the time.
good, good, good.
Oh, you want to come up here? I'm not going to eat any more biscuits. Come on up. You want to come up? Come up. Deb wants to see you.
Exactly.
I'll send you a photo.
Okay. Okay.
You're
Marge,
very-
what does your shirt say?
Soup feeds the soul. Someone gave it to me.
Of course they did. That's the perfect shirt for you. I love it.
Yes. That's
Very
good.
nice.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a handsome guy. He came from Cumberland.
Ah, very nice.
But no switching.
okay. I'm going to try and mix these now.
I'm going to eat all of mine before I have to mix it. I'm just putting some in a bowl and putting some of the other stuff on top and eating it to make sure it's good. I'll end up finishing it before I package it. That's not good.
So can you say, I might have missed it, but we're waiting for the, sorry, for the onions to actually brown, because mine are very soft now, but you want them to brown?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. And then
You said
Go
they're
ahead.
very soft,
yes. Have they,
but they're not brown?
no, they're yellow, I guess, from the turmeric, but
Okay.
not brown.
Yeah, you don't want them to be crispy. They should be cooked, but not, you don't want them to be crispy.
Okay, yeah, mine are definitely not crispy. And then the rice should be totally cooked before we add in the onions?
Yeah.
Okay. My rice tastes really good, but it's not done yet.
And I would imagine it's like dependent upon how big your potatoes are, Marcia, right? And when your thing is done.
Wow, this is a lot.
He's not used to what we do, ladies.
We all had to buy new pans to
Exactly.
to cook these.
Mm-hmm. Mm. This is so good, but I keep adding more salt, Jamshed. Is that okay?
Yeah, you'll have to.
Yeah, it's
I
so
guess that the potatoes really
Mhm.
soak it up.
This is the most unusual dish that we've made in 2.5 years. I think. Marge, you agree?
Well, most of the stuff you make are soups, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most, yeah. But even still, you'd think you'd get some soups that have like all these different ingredients. And really, this is the most different of anything we've made, and it's so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah. Okay. I've got all the rice into the pan.
Neha, where's your family from?
So we are from India, so I can totally identify with this dish.
Yeah.
Like every region of India has some form of khichdi that they make.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be a very healthy dish, and in my family, we used to make it once a week because it's kind of easy on your stomach, and like, it's just so healthy and soothing. It's kind of a detox thing. So like once a week, that was so like it was a norm, like to make it like when I was growing up. But my family doesn't like it now. My husband thinks it's something you feed to somebody who's sick. So he's like, don't make that. It makes me feel I'm sick, like, but I love it. It's just so tasty and like, it's just so nourishing also in a way.
Mhm.
So, but you can use any kinds of lentils to make it. Like different regions of India, people use different kinds of lentils to make the same.
Yeah.
Some people like it more like a risotto sort of texture. Some people like it more like a biryani sort of texture where every grain is separate. So it's just a matter of preference.
Right.
Like, but you eat it with ghee and it tastes wonderful.
Yeah.
It's great. Mm.
Well, the other thing
Yeah.
is that it's a good combination of carbs and protein.
Mhm.
So you're getting both in one dish. Okay. All right. I've got to do a little bit more mixing, but this is what. Let me turn on this is what mine's looking like.
Ah, okay, good. I was so worried that mine was not what it was supposed to be, but I think it is exactly what it's supposed to be.
I just have to mix it in better,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll put it into the box.
Okay.
I sent you a picture, Deb,
Okay, thank you.
several pictures.
So is Andrew a regular member of the group, or is he here for my?
No,
He's
just for
here.
you, Jamshed. Just
Huh?
for you, man.
Just for me.
Isn't that cool? Although, Andrew, we hope that you cook with us when you're feeling up to it.
I'd love to cook, yeah.
Do you have a family recipe, a soup or a stew that you would like to share with us, and we'll cook it with you one day?
I can make a soup, yeah.
Good. Let's do it. Andrew, I'm going to put my email in the chat and think about what you'd like to teach us how to make. We'd love to hear about why you chose it and cook it with you. I'm with you, Neha. I could eat this all day. It's hard for me to believe this is a detox though, because it has so much flavor. But I guess if I were used to eating really spicy foods, this would be a detox. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
Neha, which part of India are you from?
So I'm from Gujarat, which is the western part of India.
Okay. This is where the Parsis arrived.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the first place the Parsis arrived in India.
So you're probably one of the few Indians who knows what a Parsi is, because
Yes.
I used to work with a whole bunch of Indians from other parts of India, and they didn't even know I was Indian. They thought I was Pakistani, Iranian, so I told him, no, I'm from India. He goes, no, really? Because most Indians have not heard of Parsis because they're not, they're only on the, mainly on the West Coast. So unless you live in that area, you wouldn't have heard of them.
Also, there's a very interesting story, if I may add, about how the Parsis came to India. So like they were kind of, I mean, Jamshed, I know you might know it more better,
Yeah.
but it's my version of how I heard about it, that so they were kind of being persecuted in Iran, where they are originally from. So they got on a boat and then they sailed and they landed in a port in the western part of India, in the state of Gujarat, which is where I'm from. And when they were at the port, they had to ask for permission for the king for them to land and, to be able to live there or settle down there. So they sent an emissary with a note to the king at the time asking him for permission to stay there. And the king sent the emissary back with a note saying that he just sent a bowl of milk, which was filled to the brim, So his message was that my kingdom is already like full of people. There's enough people. There's only so many people that we can take care of. So we might not be able to take care of you and would not be able to let you settle down here. But the Parsis being so wise, and they just added like a couple of teaspoons of sugar in the milk, and they just made the milk sweeter and sent it back saying that we will make ourselves blend into your population and you would not even know that we are here in a way, we will become part of your population. So he was so happy to see that, and then he allowed them to settle down in Gujarat, and that's where they've been, and that's so many years they've lived in India, and it's a very happy-go-lucky, fun-loving community. I had many Parsi friends growing up, so I have tasted quite a few of the dishes that they make, So yeah, that's the story of how they settled down in India.
That was the first Parsi dish that got us into India.
We should make that one next time. I love that story because of the little bit that I know about Jamshed, it sounds like him. He'll make it a little sweeter, he'll make it a little better, and it'll be good for everyone. That's fantastic. I love it.
Why were the Parsis being persecuted in Iran? Why did they have to leave Iran to begin with?
Because when the Arabs invaded, you see, before the Arab conquest, the Persian Empire was extended almost from Greece all the way to China and then into India. And when the Arabs invaded, they converted. They wanted everybody to convert to Islam. And most of the people did. And then those who didn't want to are the ones who fled to India. So, yeah. Okay, I think mine is done. We're ready for packing.
But Jamshed, I should be taking, or whoever's using the red Kashmiri chilies, if you put them in whole, you should take them out before you mix up.
Yeah, you can.
But that's the only thing to take out. Everything else you just eat as is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody who doesn't know what they are may try to.
Like Deb Lang. Yeah, exactly.
All right, mine's all ready. I'm gonna let it cool and then I'll pack it up.
So a little bit of Jamshed's past. Jamshed has been a well-known person to deliver projects on time and under budget. So we are 6:30 p.m. and the dish is ready.
He continues to deliver on time and under budget. I love it.
Yep.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew, we're going to look forward to cooking with you in the future. Heal well.
Absolutely.
Bob, do you have anything to add? Were you cooking with Julie today or no?
Yeah, every now and then I help out, especially cutting the onions.
We heard that that's your job. You're a good man. And Bob and Andrew, are you two still working together?
I'm retired. So
Okay, fun.
We meet for lunch on occasion.
That's really fun.
there you go.
What's the best part of retirement, Andrew?
I don't know yet. This is a project that's only 6 months old. So
Retirement. All right. Well, welcome to it. We hope you enjoy
fixing my
it.
hip first. Fixing my hip.
Yeah, exactly. Marcia, you're enjoying your new retirement, right?
I am. I don't feel like I'm not doing anything though. I'm very busy.
Yeah. Almost everyone I know who's retired is like so busy doing contract work and like, you know, doing all those hobbies that they didn't have time for before. Everybody's busier than when they were.
Yeah, it's all good.
Good.
And we're cooking soup. That's what you have to
Oh.
do when you retire. You cook soup.
I know, but that's such a happy way to stay busy. All right, you guys, this is so different. I might indulge Jamshed not to come in under budget and beforehand. Everybody feeling good about what they're going to do to finish up their food? Anybody need a little pointer before we let him go?
Yes.
Yeah, Kelly,
So
go.
I'm at the end of my timer, and the lentils are cooked and the rice is cooked, but the potatoes are still not cooked, and it's starting to stick to the bottom of the pan. I added a couple of cups more water, but I don't know what to do because other than pull out the potatoes.
You know, the potatoes, if you just shut off the stove and cover it, there's probably enough heat in there that the potatoes will cook eventually.
Okay. Should I put should I do that before I put the second mixture in, or should I put the second mixture in and then cover it?
No, I would leave it like this right now and let it cook. Are they just a little bit raw? Or?
Yes, just a little bit.
Yeah. It will cook. Yeah, it'll cook.
And even Kelly, even once you put them in this thing, the heat is going to be in there, and they're going to kind of continue to sweat. You know,
that's right. Bit. I don't usually put them in those until it's completely cooled.
Well, you probably should. Yeah. You're right, but
I don't like the plastic to leach in there. Yes, I'm funny that way.
You're right about that. Good plan.
Kelly, are you delivering soup to me tomorrow?
Am. Yes.
You are. Okay. Just needed to know because you're the only one then. Because Lisa did not make the soup and Joyce.
No, they're all doing summer fun.
Okay.
But everybody good? Julia, you good? Julie, I know you're good. You have an inside scoop on Jamshed. Neha, thank you for adding to what we learned today. Marcia, good to see you. Everybody have a really, really good week. Jamshed, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you for
your organization. No, it was our pleasure. The food, the history, the organization, the whole thing was fantastic. We appreciate you.
All right. Thanks. We'll see you at the gala.
I'll see you there. I hope we see other people. Take good care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.